Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Carolyn,
Yes.
how about you done that by yourself? Some baba. The got the chibaba di baba. Come on, all right. Anybody know what I was saying there?
I have no idea. Nope.
Could you all hear what I was saying?
Yes.
Good. Because what you just practiced right there is discriminative listening. It's something that we've been doing for a very long time. You can probably have countless opportunities to have practiced this type of listening today, and you did not even know it because you've been practicing for longer than you have been alive, actually. Discriminative listening is the most basic form of listening and does not involve the understanding of the meaning of words or phrases, but just the different sounds that are produced. I'm sure you've all seen a cliche of somebody putting headphones on a pregnant woman's stomach. That is because baby fetus can actually hear while in the womb. And that is how you're figuring out, starting to process, hey, sounds are being made. And when baby pops out, it just comes right on out. Baby, first thing that baby usually discriminates between is the different sounds mom and dad can make if they're lucky enough to have a two-parent house. And that's when you see babies starting to develop a little bit of a preferential treatment toward a parent or not. As you can see right there, baby is kind of giving a little bit of favoritism to mom right there, looking up at mom. Right there you can see, hey baby. Baby looks over, dad comes in, oh hey baby. Right there, you're discriminating between the more bass voice of dad and more of a high-pitched voice for mom. So here you can see, as the unit progresses, we have a whole lot of different listening techniques right there. On the bottom, discriminative. What is this tree? Where is it located?
Roots.
The roots. Excellent job, Brett. So you can see it's kind of feeding all the other forms of the listening techniques. So when we get into those lessons and you start wondering when we're doing critical listening, hey, didn't we hear that in discriminative listening? Didn't we hear that when we're doing therapeutic? My answer would be yes, 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 because so many aspects of the other listenings devolve from discriminative listening, and that is why we are starting, because if you don't know discriminative listening, you're going to be completely lost with all the other forms of listening right there. So now that I have told you about the importance of discriminative listening, how exactly do we do it? What are the important parts of discriminative listening? Well, there are three. First one, the ability to hear. I mean, that one's pretty obvious. If you're not being able to hear, if you have some kind of hearing impairment, you can't discriminate between the actual sounds that are being produced. You have to be aware of the sounds. Now this is going into the English language itself. If you say the words, I'm not going to have you say these two words right here because you're going to end up saying them very, very carefully. And you're not going to get the point. If I say the stick, you'd hope that you could either say this stick, or it could also sound like this tick, because the two S's can kind of combine and make the words a little bit of a jumble. Now you wouldn't be able to say, if I said this broom, that's very, very broken up because the English language itself does not have any words that have S and B going together unless it's made up like a certain pizza establishment that I believe is bankrupt right now called Sbarro. Now this word right here, I drank it first. What did you hear?
I drank it first.
Excellent. We have competing answers right there. It could go either way, and that's where you have to discriminate between the two, because you could say, you could hear either one. It all depends on how you discriminate. Doesn't have to be just words either. Police sirens versus ambulance sirens, they can both end up sounding the same. So if you're able to find the differences between the two, say you're dating somebody who knows the difference between the two. Unless they're actually a police officer or paramedic, I'd say you might want to take stock in who you're choosing as a significant other. Proximity of sounds. If they're too far away, if something explodes in Minneapolis, you can hear it here?
No.
Probably not, unless you have Superman hearing. The last one, understanding nonverbal clues. Posture, spacing, voice inflection, voice speed. Where did we just hear it a few minutes ago? When I was talking with Carolyn there, maybe? Kind of saw that I had a little bit of a why can't you hear me type of posture right here. Why can't you understand me? So this all goes into discriminative listening. And this is not a skill that you're born with necessarily. This is a skill that you can develop over time. As discriminative listening skills develop, a person grows and matures. That baby can only really understand mom and dad's voices. And they can only understand the differences in sounds between them. As they start to mature, they'll start imitating sounds, and they'll also begin to learn their own name. Hopefully, as we mature, we'll start to understand how voice tone can play a part. We'll understand body language, accents related to regions. Also, it doesn't have to be just a southern accent. Break it down even further, there's going to be a difference between the Tennessee accent and the Texas accent as well. However, if you're ignorant of the differences between those two, you can just say he has a southern accent. And also, most importantly, foreign languages. When we're younger, we use discriminative listening at a more basic level. We pick up the phonemes of the language, of the native language, to replicate the speech patterns, and that is why it's easier to pick up a foreign language when we're younger. We're still developing the knowledge of our native language, so we're picking up the patterns of the sounds inside that language, and we have, let's say, more room to develop a more understanding of a second language. As we age, we don't use that way of listening in language as much as we did when we were very young. Therefore, learning a new language becomes more difficult, as we don't as easily pick up the subtle sounds of a new language. If you look at this, I kind of hinted at a little bit earlier, is it just sounds that we can discriminate against? No. What we have here, let's say you're an athlete. You all of a sudden hear a weird sound go off inside your body. You just get hit really, really hard on the football field. That athlete, I guess I struck a nerve with somebody.
I know that noise.
Yes, Anne, I will put this directly to you. Did you know if it was either a dislocated joint or a broken bone? Yes, because you're an athlete. You will know this. You will know this. Somebody like me, who the most athletic thing that I do is actually push buttons on a video game remote while playing football, will not know. I just know it hurts. If somebody drops a plate, and we're not there to see it, we may think that, oh, hey, it was a glass, it was a cup, just something along those lines. Unless, of course, we're knowledgeable about breaking stuff, then maybe we'll know. I just heard a plate made in 1947 break. Of course, and then I'm sure a lot of us have this one that we can all point to, the strange, mysterious, scary car noise. I have a friend who knows so much about cars that if he heard brakes squeak, he would be able to say, ooh man, that sounds like it could go at literally any second right now. I gotta get this thing to a garage and have it fixed ASAP. Someone like me, who only knows cars are a good way to get from point A to point B, I'd be going, you know what, that sounds a little scary. It's the worst thing that could happen. Oh, hey, look, there's a parade that's going off right in front of me. Yeah, a bunch of first graders there. I guess I better stop.
Oh! No.
I hit another nerve. I'm really doing the mother love tonight. Of course, with anything in listening, there's going to be barriers. Want you all to look at somebody who's around you, take a couple minutes, and start thinking of ways that barriers can be made. Indiscriminate listening. I'll let you talk amongst yourselves.
I'm trying to
I mean, I know some things.
Even if I was talking to you and when I smashed your toe with a hammer, you would not hear what I had to say.
If we mention you're trying to
You're awful. My sports.
It's all sounds, right? It's anything that takes your mind.
These are actually
When I was in third
So if you're in a bad mood already, now you're saying insane.
or if you're focused, I heard people were walking around and like stress, and other people were like, you were supposed to read while you were doing it, and memorize when you were reading, and then someone else turned around and they were supposed to like take the stress off you, and they had seconds of friends, and they kept like trying to help me, and I was like, no, and I like wouldn't listen to them, and I like focus on what I was
So
doing.
you're already in a task.
What are other examples of someone who would fail at
Or like,
if you're your headphones were
like I know focusing on like the TV and you get zone in,
like
and then
if
you're
you're
eating or
texting
anything around you.
that
I
or
haven't
texting
been
sometimes I have to
My sister even says that.
It's walk in
Or
front
like
of
what?
it.
Me, that's reading.
Yeah.
What?
And I'm like, get out of my way.
Or reading.
It was
I never
time
listen to
Yeah, I know.
like
All right, it looks like we have established at least one for each group right here. So I want to hear some of the examples. Anna, you seem to have an example that came up right away, so I know you're chomping at the bit.
In my free time, I spend a little time with Lindsay, and she's in a sorority, and sometimes she goes and talks about girls in her sorority or things that have to do with a sorority, and I'm like, okay. Like, I might know some of the people, but then I don't know what she's talking about.
Right, and that gets into the ignorance part. You're not being stupid, you just don't know these people. So yeah, there's a little bit of a discriminated barrier right there. Renee, you might have one.
When I go to the bar, because, well, when I go
The
out,
juice
when
bar.
I go out for smoothies, boys don't talk to me because I'm engaged and they see my ring, so they won't even like talk to me or my sister or anything like that. They don't approach us.
Right.
That's
Right.
why.
All right, we'll give you. Let's be nice to each other. We love each other. This is a community.
They totally want to talk. When you're texting, so like I have to ask sometimes my boyfriend to repeat himself like 3 times when I'm on my phone. I feel really bad.
And that goes into inability to recognize what's being said right there. Almost a foreign language, probably, right? Another form of English. English 2, we'll call it. All right, those are all good examples. Some other ones that could end up becoming a barrier. Foreign language, we went over that a little bit. Noise pollution. If you're sitting there wanting to talk with somebody and some construction worker has his jackhammer right there, kind of hard to hear the other person talking. Ignorance of the sound, we covered that. Hearing impairment. If you can't hear, you can't listen. And then, of course, there's distance. I probably couldn't hear somebody talking way, way, way in the back. I could see them talk. I would know they're talking, but I wouldn't be able to hear what's going on. So that completes the slides. Are you done? No, of course not. I'm going to have a fun little activity for everybody here to do. And we're going to be getting up and leaving this room, actually.
Field trip.
What is going to happen here? We are going to disperse into the hallway. We're trying to be as quiet as possible. That means if you want to talk to somebody, be it very, 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 very quiet. I want to see everybody dispersed. I don't want to see everybody conglomerated in just one little circle. Go all the way across the hall. Please don't leave this hallway though. I want to see everybody in here. And this is going to be a sheet of paper that you're going to write down literally every single sound that you can hear. If you don't have a writing utensil,
I have lots of friends.
please borrow something from somebody. And also, if there is somebody in the hallway doing work, please don't sit in front of them and write down, oh, hey, they're
You
talking.
need something?
Be respectful of people's space while in the hallway.
Here.
When we go now?
We can go right now. I will hand you a sheet of paper as you leave.
Stop the camera.
Yes, he's not using his assistant. Okay. Mr. Teacher, you're not the students.
I live for those experiences.
Like right on cue too. Someone
Somebody needs to prove it out, so I just like,
Yep, that's the last thing I wrote.
Nate, let's start with you. Let's hear something that you wrote down.
Just one thing. Door creaking?
Door creaking. Brett, did you hear door creaking?
I don't have it on here, no.
Why not?
I did not discriminate it. Maybe I heard-
Exactly. It might have been a little too far away. There might have been a little bit too distant. This is getting into how we discriminate with our listening abilities, and it's a skill that we can develop. However, if it's too far away, you're not going to be able to hear something. So you can't really blame each other if something's too far away. So, Renee,
Keys jingling?
keys jingling. Anybody else hear that? Anna?
I did
No.
not put that, no.
No. So why didn't you?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't listening.
I guess not. Might have been too far away. Might have been listening to something else. Something else might have been getting in the way. Exactly. Noise pollution. Noise pollution. There's another something that's overtaking the realm of sound right there. Carolyn.
Lindsay burping.
Lindsay burping. Raise your hands. Who heard that one? There's still some who did not. Brett, you didn't raise your hand.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that.
It was really quiet.
And you didn't hear it? Why not?
I choose to bring cleanliness.
I guess that's a barrier that we didn't cover.
Okay,
Okay, one more. Holly.
The hum of the light.
The hum of the light.
I thought it was
How
air
many else
conditioning,
did?
but-
I thought it was air
I
conditioning.
thought it was an air conditioning. That's what that's.
See? Okay, who thought it was the air conditioner? And then who thought it was the hum of the light? Well, that's very different right there.
It could have been two different things.
That's interesting. It could have been two different things. But that goes into a little bit of the discriminative aspects right there. You're hearing two different things. And that's going by what you know, what your history is with what you've listened to before. Anybody hear anything? How about me at the very end clearing my throat?
Yes.
I heard you singing.
Whistling.
Someone had a fake sneeze.
Yes, there are things that we all heard. Why did we all hear?
Because they were louder.
Because they were louder. Good job.
Like Anna yelling, "Mr. Teacher."
I did not hear that.
Really?
See, that goes in.
Yeah,
That goes
you
into
got
perspective. That's
Really?
perspective right there. What's loud to some people might not be loud to other people. So we've had a good class today, I think. So now that we have our favorite time, homework.
Yes!
Yes! I want you all to write a 2-page journal entry over what we learned today about discriminative listening, and then write about an experience you have had relatively recently that you have used your discriminative listening skills. And that will be due at the beginning of tomorrow's class. Thank you very much, class. Have a great day. Thank you.